Alright, hello, brothers, sisters, and gender normal sisters. It is time for a live stream, and a very different one because you guys asked for it. You all asked for this. Just remember that. No actual gameplay today. Today, it is just going to be essentially a Pirates of the Geek Vortex live stream. Now, a lot of you may be wondering, what is Pirates of the Geek Vortex? What is that? Now, that is the podcast that me and a few of my friends did ages and ages ago. Kind of a podcast version of the Nerdning, which was always the Nerdning was always supposed to be just a televised, just a YouTube show, a YouTube series, and that was it. Meanwhile, the Pirates of the Geek Vortex was supposed to be the podcast side of things, and honestly, we could kind of split the difference there and do both. And hello, Gamers Grotto, and welcome. So yeah, there's I'm not entirely sure what we're going to talk about. It all depends on who's here and what we want to talk about. What topics come up and stuff like that. I do have a few ideas. All right, hang on a moment here. Let me change things up a bit here. Okay. So I'm kind of futzing around a little bit with my intro graphics and stuff. Basically because I realized that I should have probably I really should have brought up the brightness on stuff. Alright, so we're gonna say you are break 3. Save. This, we want to redo the... There we go. Okay. And you're going to be intro 3. Yes. It was very good. It was very, very well done. The opening was, the opening when they're in the construct and stuff like that, that was obviously better, simply because that was fully pre-rendered cinematic. It wasn't, oh hey, this is the integral gameplay. But even there were a few things here and there that it just kind of stood out to me. Granted, I kind of do a fair amount with 3D graphics and stuff like that, so I know the difficulties that can be had with as far as doing that. Like when Neo and Trinity are walking, their hands just don't really move. Like, their hands stay perfectly where they are. The wrist doesn't move, the fingers don't move, nothing like that moves. And that's always one of the biggest problems, is all the little movements that people make when they're walking, when they're jumping, when they're doing all this stuff. It's always been the biggest problem that I've seen. But there's also some reflection differences, like with the close-up on Neo's face, like around his cheek, like part of his cheek that's facing down, that's where it caves in on the cheek, the part that's facing down is like super high gloss, but none of the rest of its cheekbone is. Well, that too, but that was the lighting and stuff inside the car and everything were really kind of showed off the lighting difference. And that's just a matter of how much time do you want to spend rendering this, how much capacity do things have versus do you really need all of that? Do you really need all of that to do you really need to go all out on some of that? Like, there's still massive amounts of restrictions, even with, the brand new graphic cards for the PCs or with the PS5. I mean, for example, actually, give me just a moment here. Let's pop back to the intro here. For example, this graphic, and let me update that. Let me update that to number 3 so it's a bit brighter. You can really see more. There we go. That's better. I mean, that one frame took about, I think that one frame of that took, God, what was it? It was like 12 to 14 seconds just for one single frame. But you can really see the gloss and the reflections and everything like that. Like the visor for the guy in the suit is reflecting exactly all of the screens and everything. And there's only so much you can do before you're kind of No, that are all 3D assets that I picked up here, there, and a few other places. That's an actual 3D model within Blender. I've got full consoles, screens with the consoles, the whole 9 yards. That's usually what I do when I make something from scratch. That's usually what I do is I'll build it up in a 3D modeling program. Much like the framework here that we have that I use for my live streams. This is little greebles or little tech looking bits and bobs that I just basically framed around where I wanted stuff to go. 3D modeling is it's interesting and it's fun. Now, I am not much of one for like creating something from scratch. Well, not really. I mean, I have created some things from scratch here and there. I've done some like 3D bottles and stuff. Actually, let me pull that up and see if we can see how that okay, photo stuff. Let's just do a search for bottles. Because I'm not sure, I don't remember where I saved that. I know I've got a picture of some of the bottles that I did. That might be it. Let me get the picture pulled up here and... But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff that you can do with 3D modeling software. Now, of course, again, it really depends, you know, where you draw the line and how much you put into it really kind of depends on the end rendering machine. So if you're rendering out like an animation or something like that, it's not as big of a deal. Because it really depends, you know, if a 1 minute clip is going to take 12 hours to render, it doesn't really matter, because once you've rendered it out, you have that finished product done and over with.
Welcome to the second half.
That was a movie clip. Oh shit. And I didn't mean to close that. Damn it. I'm just... Okay. Now, the actual bottles and how they look here is a little bit different from how they would look in, like, in Blender. Because these are rendered out to Second Life. Now, I've actually changed a lot of those bottles. Actually, let me take a look at something here. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to try something. You know what? No, I'm not going to worry about it, because my the GPU processing is going pretty thick here. But yeah, these were the first versions that I did, and I've managed to improve on them quite a bit as far as, you know, doing more detailed modeling, doing more detailed curves and bevels, and improved skins. Now, an example of one. Now, let me pull up another one here that I've done. And this is, like I said, this is all kind of just the interesting side of things of what you can do. Okay, so I want... Which renders that really dark. Alright, so... Okay, here's a good idea. Here's the thing. So, okay, these items here. This is what is basically how the items that I got. These are the assets that I got as part of a Kit Bash science lab type thing. Didn't really have any textures or anything. Didn't really have much color or anything like that. But then we have... That's what I wound up making. Using all of those pieces. Then I took some bits out, added some bits together, recolorized a lot of things, made some things emissive and stuff like that to make basically a center drink thing, a center drink holder for a cantina. And then, give me just a moment here, and but yeah, this is the type of thing that I love doing, and I wanted to teach myself how to do this mostly because it makes it so much easier to make something unique and make a background or something like that for videos that is just drastically different. Okay, so let me just make a really quick and easy brightened version. And now we'll pop over here and we'll say, okay, so this is basically how it ended up. This was the basic idea for the cantina. So you've got kind of like the Star Wars cantina where it's got the horseshoe shaped bar. That was actually made from scratch. It's populated by cyber bikers from Production Crate, and then my drink thing in the middle. Now, for a brightened version, you have that. And when I did this is where I learned how to do like translucent glass with liquid in it, so that it not only do you see the light through it, but it actually does distort the light as if it were an imperfect rounded bottle with some form of liquid in it. So if we come in here, yeah, it gets pixelated because it's just a still picture, but you can see how it's not just a pure see-through, but actually does distort the light. And then there was the one that I used for... Let's see here. Okay, so which one's the latest? The last one? Okay. And then again, another one just kind of cobbling things together, taking bits and pieces and kind of cobbling things together. You've got two examples of the astronauts, one of the cyber bike. You've got one of the alien and a couple of their evil robots. And I think all of the tables and stuff was actually like that was from the Kit Bash, from their just like their high-tech streets. But I figured, why does it have to be a street? Why can't it just be like, yeah, here is kind of like the kind of like the one of the alcoves in the Star Wars, in Star Wars: A New Hope, in the Mos Eisley Cantina. Now, if we duplicate that, we can make it a bit brighter and really get an idea of exactly what all is going on here. So yeah, you've got this weird dark purple alien here. And this was actually back, oh gods, what was this? I think this was Blender 2.9 or 2.87 maybe. So some of the fine lines, like the glow from this guy onto the table is a bit spotty, but it actually does follow like the roughness map of that. This is just some of the fun little stuff that I do when I'm not, when I'm not recording videos or making videos and stuff like that. And, you can actually find a lot of really good models. Most of the time when you get even if you get a really high quality, great model, you're going to have to fiddle around a bit with the textures and stuff like that just to make sure that you're getting a result that you want. But yeah, that's the type, like I said, that's just the type of thing that I kind of play around with here and there, just so that I can make a good background for a video idea. Like the spaceship that I have in the intro picture and stuff like that, that was specifically so that I could have a spaceship to play with. You put somebody in a chair, put them in front of a green screen, and have them act at being a captain or navigation or weapons or whatever. Have everybody do it together, and then you can just green screen them out, stack them up, and place them in all those spots, and you're good to go. And it's so much easier than trying to find the perfect picture. It's a whole lot easier than trying to build or find money to pay somebody to build a set, as well as rent out space to have the set. Yeah, that if anybody who's wanting to get into doing skits and sketches and stuff like that, but they don't necessarily have the money to build a set and stuff like that. Learning how to use a green screen, learning how to composite video, and learning how to put together even just a basic 3D background can really make a difference. Getting it to look perfect, that's easier said than done. But at the same time, if you know how to do it yourself, it's a hell of a lot cheaper. So yeah, if that's where your abilities go, absolutely, that is absolutely perfect way of doing it. Myself, I don't have a whole lot of space, and we don't have a lot of space around town for doing stuff like that. So just about everything's coming in, everything winds up having to be digital. Well, actually, kind of another one here, another example that you guys have actually seen was the, potion craft one. Everything other than myself is digitally put in here. The cabinet, the couch, the throne, the window, the chandelier that's reflecting in the window. And the interesting part with this is that what's really lighting everything is actually the light bulbs in the chandelier. That is what is light, that and the fire here and the little bit of light from the lantern, that's what's lighting everything. I think I made the background slightly emissive as far as the sky goes, but that was about it. But yeah, the table's just, the table, the skull, everything is just like stuff that most of it I got for free. Most of it was free downloads that I just downloaded and imported and just started slapping it all together. For a lot of stuff, it is. For a lot of stuff, I will find find a clean plate background and just put it there and just like put myself in somewhere. But like with Potion Craft, there wasn't any background. There wasn't actually a full screen just picture of anything. And this was one that I had laying around from one of the production crate contests that I entered in. Where I think, if I remember right, the skull had small little fires in its eyes, and I had a lit glowing magic circle on and stuff like that. But yeah, that was, yeah, like I said, all of this is, I think the skull was from Production Crate, the background outside the window was from Production Crate, and I think the walls were from Production Crate. Everything else was actually free downloads. Like, just 100% free. Just, I think quite a few of them. Well, I think, you know what? I think most of these are actually from 3D model, 3D Haven. I do the same thing a lot of, like I said, with a lot of these, that's exactly what I do. With a lot of them, that's exactly what I do. Well, you can see it with, like, Duckman. Like, the Duckman, the Duckman thumbnail. The Duckman thumbnail is just that opening scene, but I masked Duckman out. Got a free copy of a Duckman clip art, free thing of corn fed, and just boom. Actually, wasn't there one, yeah, Breath Edge. Breath Edge was another one that I did. Where basically that is the cover art for Breath Edge. And I just cut my head out and put it in there. Then you have the second one where, you know, it's the same, or the third one, it's the exact same picture of me. I just put myself on the bridge there. That was actually a screen capture from the game itself, and then took a different picture and a different face, and just... I might actually go through and do a tutorial for that, like a kind of do a tutorial Tuesday video for that. Because the trickiest part, honestly, the trickiest part is getting just the right angle and just the right, you know, just looking just the right way. Like with this one, it was, okay, I have to be mostly turned away from mostly turned to the camera, but also looking towards it. And but yeah, there's a few tips and tricks to get it to blend, because it's like, well, once you get it cut down to exactly where that is, it's usually best to well, actually, you know what? You know what? I could let's take a look here, and let's go into Breath Edge and do that one. So let's go into Breath Edge. Let's take it down to the bare bones. So there's the original that I had. And basically all I did was I took a picture. I had got a picture of myself at about that same angle. And then it was just a matter of, you know, I think I actually had a copy of that one separate already. Yeah, I had to have, because it does not line up 100%. So I had an extra one there, and basically when you take that picture, you just slap that over there and you resize it. Now the big thing you want to try and do is, once you get it down to there, you want to blur the edges. Basically, I do it on a green screen, so I could green screen out my head. And then just took like, okay, so I knew I wasn't going to need anything below the neck. And once I had it sized and lined up with the spacesuit in particular, then it was just a matter of, okay, now, like if I was going to do this one, it's like, okay, now see how my chin is over that edge. So if we actually take that down to like about a 60 to 75% opacity, and you can do this in GIMP as well. So you don't have to have Adobe Photoshop. You can do this with GIMP as well. But then it's just a matter of come in and erase up to where that edge is. Now if we bring it in 100%, see, using the erase tool can work, or you can just do a lasso say, okay, well, here's the inner edge of that spacesuit, and just delete. But of course, when you bring that up, and when you're done there, now you have this really sharp edge. You see, you can kind of see, you can see that really sharp edge there, and that will show up. But if you take the blur tool, we want it fairly small, and just go along that edge there. All of a sudden, that edge is the same amount of blurriness as the edge of the spacesuit. Which do I find easier? I'm not really sure. To be honest, they both do the same thing. Photoshop has a few new things coming out, like their neural filters and stuff like that, which are nice. It has an auto content fill, which I never use. So yeah, it's kind of hit and miss as to which one you prefer. As far as doing stuff like this, both are completely valid and equal. Both of them are pretty much equal. You may be able to find more tutorials for Photoshop simply because that's what professional people use. But it's by no means is it necessary to go with Photoshop. GIMP can do just about everything that Photoshop can do. It can do all the big things that Photoshop can do. And that's why that's why for me it's kind of like I don't really know which to advise people to get, because it's like, well, I mean, if you can afford, I mean, you know, of course, GIMP is free. GIMP is free through Google. Whereas Photoshop, you have to have a subscription with Adobe in order to get Photoshop. So that can be kind of costly. Now, for myself, I use Premiere and After Effects both, so I figured, I mean, I'm already paying for their multi program, multi-app subscription, so it's like I might as well go ahead and start using Photoshop. Now, Gamers Grotto, if you don't mind, can I pull up? Do I have your permission to pull up your video to kind of look at some of the opening section of the Matrix Unreal Experience thing? Okay, I always want to make sure to have permissions for stuff like that first. So, all right, let me shrink you down and move you over here, and we're gonna quiet you down a ways. So, all right, let's take a look at this. So, right off the bat, I actually have it paused pretty much right where I was talking about. Right here, you can see how you have the white, the very white part of the room of the construct and stuff reflecting off of his cheek here, but then it just like stops very abruptly here, but not quite there. There's a little bump here too, and then then you actually have a darker section, and then it lightens back up. That's some of the little details that I tend to look at, and it's like, oh, okay, so yeah, that's probably not an actual person. It's not. It's one of those things where if you do it a lot, or you really, or this is you really look in on the fine details, you'll see it. But it is in no way immersion breaking. The other big thing for me is the eyes, because the light source that they have is there should be a light source from from this side of its face, which means that this eye should be because the eyes are always very, very moist. They reflect light, so you can almost always see the light source in an actual person's eye. Now, see, when he's moving his hands and he's moving and he's grabbing stuff, it's very obvious. It's very obvious that, I mean, you can really see him, really see all the changes and stuff like that. Like, his fingers are moving and stuff like that. But when he's just walking without specific movements of, like right here, like, okay, let's back it up to where he comes around this chair. Now watch his right hand. His right hand. It goes into a position and it stays in that slightly curled position no matter which way it turns and moves. And a real person's isn't going to stay just like that. If the person's rotating their hand around, they usually straighten it out or bend it back in or something like that. They either curl it or straighten it as they're rotating it. That's just how the muscles tend to work. And again, you look at the hands. This is the area that got me. This is the area that just really got me. Is when they start multiplying, look at their right hands in particular. They just look unnatural. The hand is moving back and forth, but the fingers aren't changing at all. And then here we go into the actual game engine. And like I said, you look at especially when the light is really harsh on their faces, there's such a hard edge to the shadows. Okay, let's see if we can snag that. No. Okay. Such an imprecise thing. Well, actually, that was a really good one right there. That glow, that light right there that's reflecting off of his glasses, but there's no logical source. I would be willing to bet that most of that was actually done all within all within Unreal Engine, and they were actually, it's all actual, like, somebody had to program in the armature and the okay, as you're walking, rotate this, and they didn't extend that motion down to the fingers and stuff. I mean, okay, that is a fair point. That is a fair point. I'm not seeing it as it was in its full HD. But there is a certain point where it's like, a higher resolution isn't necessarily going to do much to change that. Like I said, this light source makes no sense whatsoever. They are actually in a darker part of the city. The only places where they would be actually getting any light is from the front and back, where they can see the sky because there's buildings on either side of them. But something is just casting this super bright reflection on his glasses, and it's not a temporary thing. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. The continuation of. But this is another problem that they have with this in particular. Is this sign and this poster are way too clear. Those are way too clear. Like, you can't see the fine details and the fine lines on the back of the bus or the side of the bus, or signs that are even with, or signs that are almost even with these, that aren't on something that's moving away from you. But no, you can clearly read Matrix and clearly see the faces. There is no blur whatsoever. That is... Now that may be kind of a kind of purposefully done to say, hey, look, we're advertising the Matrix. Just be like, oh yeah, this is still a construct. This is all still make believe. But it's supposed to be. But see, it's supposed to be a poster on the back of a bus, and it's like that'd be like having a sign here that is like. Isn't blurred at all, just perfectly normal. It's just like, yeah. But see, here's what I'm talking about as far as the shadows go. So it is still kind of rough, and I mean, they did their best with topology of the face and stuff like that. And it does look good. I mean, don't get me wrong. This looks fucking amazing. It is amazing work. But it's just it's limitations of hardware no matter what. It's like most people aren't going to see the fact that this kind of goes down and then back up. And yeah, her lip comes out a little bit as far as, as her teeth as her mouth curves out and stuff like that, but it's just it should be a whole lot smoother. The topology is very, 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 very extreme. But like I said, I mean, as far as that goes, that's not something that a lot of people are going to see or really pay attention to. And Neo is kind of getting that same, direct from point A to point B movement in his arms and stuff like that. which is really just kind of that's really kind of a game mechanic. That's just limitations of hardware, and it really doesn't pay to go any better than that because people should be paying attention to other things. Oh yeah. I mean, Unreal Engine doesn't need to advertise and be like, "Oh, hey, look, come use our stuff, use our software." They are I'm pretty, if I remember right, Unreal Engine is the #1 choice for not just game developers but also movie makers. Because Unreal Engine allows them to put in their digital background in real time so that they can see it as they're filming the scene. It may not look as crisp and clean as a final render, but they can at least get the idea and make sure that everything lines up properly without having to record it, edit it, compose it to get, make the composition, and then say, "Oh wait, Thor should be looking here, but he's looking here. It doesn't line up. We gotta call Chris Hemsworth back in to do a full reshoot." Okay, I can see that. Now if only some of the production, the game producers and the game companies actually would improve stuff rather than just kind of like giving it a little bit of a glow up. Oh, I don't doubt it. They have the best, as far as consoles go, they have the best graphics hardware. And that is really, that's kind of an interesting thing, because it's like, well, a PS5 and Xbox Series X boast better resolution, better graphics hardware than any console before. And that's kind of one of the key words here is better than any console. That's one of the reasons why I prefer to go with PC gaming, even though there are some outfits like Rockstar that just oh, goodness. Excuse me.
Running up the mountain and climbing a tree, twisted like a snake and busy like bees. Don't know what is wrong with me. Don't know what is wrong with me. Pumping up the volume to 90 degrees, dancing to a song till I drop to my knees. Don't know what is wrong with me. Don't know what is wrong with me. Boy, how you know you got that something here? I'm just standing doing nothing. From across the room you got me blushing. I gotta crush just like a gold rush. Boy, how you know you got that something here? I'm just standing doing nothing. From across the room you got me blushing. I gotta crush just like a gold rush. Just to get what I need, coming at your heart, you will see what I mean. Don't know what is wrong with me. Don't know what is wrong with me. It's been in my head, you got me all dizzy. Wouldn't it be better if I just let it be? Don't know what is wrong with me. Don't know what is wrong with me. Boy, how you know you got something here. I'm just standing doing nothing. From across the room, you got me blushing. I gotta crush just like a gold rush. I gotta crush just like a gold rush.
Yay, I didn't die. Oh my goodness. I coughing like a maniac, but I didn't die. I'm not dead yet. Oh. Still have that little tick on the back of my throat. Like anytime anything hits the back of your throat, doesn't matter if it's still there or not, it feels like it's still there for like a good 5 to 10 minutes. It sucks. Though it's not, it's less embarrassing to have it happen with something like popcorn than the fact that like your mouth just decided to forget how to work properly, and like a little bit of saliva that you were trying to swallow hits the back of your throat, and then it's just like, what the hell did I really? I'm choking on my own saliva. How embarrassing. True fact, I've done that a few times. It's just like, oh my god. So see, now Gamers Grotto, that's actually kind of an interesting thing. The frames per second definitely does help, but the pure graphics hardware, the amount of memory dedicated just to doing graphics and stuff like that, actually adds a lot more. So like, you know, everybody's talking about ray tracing these days, and you know, essentially what ray tracing is okay, you have the light from the light source hitting something, bouncing off and hitting something else, and then going to the camera. And it's actually something that works in real life, but hasn't really worked in a 3D space for a while. Like, in order to get softer light, some people will take like a blank white piece of paper or something like that and say, you know, okay, you see how dark it is under my chin. But just with a simple white piece of paper, now I have a soft light under my chin, simply because I'm reflecting the light off of there, hitting there, and then going to the camera. Thing is ray tracing takes a lot of memory. A lot of memory. It is kind of insane how much memory it takes, and how much hardware it takes in order just to do that simple little thing. Of course, it's one of those things where it's like, how many rays, you know, it's also a question of how many rays are you tracing. So what, you know, you may have a ray that hits the paper but doesn't hit my chin, and you're, you know, it's still tracing that, because if I move forward to the point where it did, all of a sudden it matters again. Ray tracing is a fascinating thing.
I don't really give a damn. Got my pocket full of sand. I don't really give a damn. You can read it in my head.
I love the fact that they're doing that, because it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh hey, I don't have to look like I'm play. It doesn't look, to me at least, it doesn't look like I am playing a horror game when I'm playing like. When I'm just playing, you know, just a regular first-person shooter or something like that, or like when I'm playing Cyberpunk, it doesn't look like I'm playing Doom 3. Okay, that can help out a lot as well. See, I don't know how much that's gonna help the graphics, but that's gonna help general gameplay massively, because all of a sudden your PlayStation's not spinning up a drive in order to try and access something. That was one of the things my new PC that I got last year came with. It came with a solid state drive and then a regular standard hard drive. So of course I've got all my applications installed on the solid state drive. Like the all of the Adobeware, the Blender, anything that's going to use a lot of, it's going to need to access information fast. The more solid state drives you have access to, the more information and the more games you can load up on it without having to worry about, super slow load times and stuff like that. I do find it kind of funny, though. My brain just quit. My brain just stopped. Just like completely stopped. Like poof. Like, wait, what were we again? What were we saying? I hate when that happens. Like when you're in the middle of saying something, your brain's just like, nah, forget about it. Okay. I don't think I'm familiar with that. Hang on a minute here. What? Oh, okay. So they are extremely more subtle and varied type of controllers. Right, you can feel more small detailed things than just like, than like damn near shaking your hands off your wrist because something happened. I don't know what it is. I can't get into controllers. I mean, I grew up with joysticks and controllers and stuff like that, but once Wolfenstein 3D came out, and then Doom and stuff like that, it was just, I was a keyboard gamer, and mouse and keyboard gamer, that feels so much more natural to me. Now that sounds really interesting. So it actually like pushes back against a little bit, so it increases the tension for a trigger. Huh. That's, yeah, that might actually. Now, do they have those for PC? I would imagine they should. Okay, so yada yada yada. Good adaptive triggers, right? So if you Okay, so it looks like that might actually work with, yeah. Now of course, the big question is do those features still work when connected to a PC? Is it something that's proprietary to PlayStation, and they don't allow programming, the programming and stuff to go outside of their system and their stuff? I would hope so. I would honestly hope so, because it's like, yeah. I'm just kind of taking a look at some of the news here and stuff, especially like technology and entertainment. Wow, they just... I'm sorry, I don't care about West Side Story. I do not care about... I don't like musicals. Yeah, that's one of those things that they kind of have to do, is they have to really ratchet up the hardware and the player experience through the controller as well. get things pulled up here. Okay. Oh my god, you know what I just realized? I just realized I never put out any notification on like Twitter or Facebook about this live stream. Wow, I feel stupid now. Holy crap. Big fat fail from me. Wow. Wow, I cannot believe I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I forgot to post there. Like, I forgot to post both the Facebook and Twitter. I didn't post it anywhere. So it's like a super, super secret little, ooh, nobody knows. And that doesn't do me any good because nobody can come and hang out and shit. Oh, as an idiot. Hi, Curious. Welcome to the "oh my god, I'm an idiot" part of the live stream. Because yeah, I just realized that I hadn't posted to Twitter or Facebook. I don't know what it was that was like that got it to me. That was like, oh hey, wait a second. But yeah, I'm just like, oh shit, I didn't post anywhere. Oh, wow. So I literally left it all up to YouTube to actually tell people that I was live streaming. And we all know how well that works out. Oh, wow. Okay. Just kind of glancing through stuff that's going on right now. Apparently here in Illinois, there is an Amazon there are workers trapped in an Amazon warehouse that partially collapsed due to the storms we've been having. Yay! Just more proof that that Bezos really does care about his workers. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, we've been having we've in December we have rainstorms rolling on through, tornado warnings or watches. All kinds of fun stuff. I'm sorry, why is Harrison Ford? Hey, Epidemic Sound. I will always recommend Epidemic Sound for any content creator or anybody who wants just like some really good chill music. They have a lot of stuff. Okay. Oh wow. Those. Oh wow. Ooh. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. No, I was not expecting it. I was not expecting naked pictures of the controller. Goodness, did they let kids see this? Wow, they actually go really deep into this, don't they? Oh my goodness, it's completely torn apart. My gods, that is not safe for kids. I'm a little concerned because it Facebook decided to tell me, oh no, hey, you don't have connection to the internet. I'm like, I should. What do you mean I don't have connection to the internet? The bad storms are past. Well, most of them are. Looks like we might be getting caught by a few more storms here, but nothing too bad. I would agree. They are definitely like really kind of showing what for here. So there's been a lot of kind of general talk and trying to figure out what's really going on with the new Matrix movie and stuff like that. And honestly, I think the name really kind of says it all. It's Resurrections. Neo and Trinity are being resurrected. Well, whereas everybody else, it feels like, is being reincarnated. So you have a new version of Morpheus. Oh, actually, so we have seen things where like Morpheus is being built by nanobots or being shown to be to kind of be a kind of like a constructed of nanobots. Now, what if everybody is being resurrected? Agent Smith is being resurrected, Morpheus is being resurrected, everybody's being resurrected, but the only two people they actually had bodies for, the only two people that the machines had bodies for were Trinity and Neo. I mean, technically they had Trinity, Neo, and Agent Smith, because Agent Smith had his programming had rewritten the brain of this one guy. So that would kind of, I mean, it would kind of make sense that, okay, well, Neo and Trinity are able to be, you know, resurrected as they were in their old, you know, in their original forms and everything like that. But Morpheus is new. Morpheus is in a new body. Agent Smith is still hanging around as bits and pieces of code, but is in a new body because he was disconnected from the machines. Morpheus would be in a new body because he was, you know, there was no reason for him to go back into the Matrix. Alright, seriously, what the fuck is up with you assholes? Bye-bye. No, I don't think I'm in, like, imminent danger or anything, but this, yeah, there have been plenty of assholes like this that have been fucking just random messages popping up. Am I finally getting popular enough that they are starting to troll me or think that it's, like, in any way gonna benefit them? So yeah, that's kind of my take on this. It is resurrections. Everybody is becoming resurrected. No, Lawrence Fishburne is, as far as I've heard, Lawrence Fishburne is not in the movie. There is archival footage from the original trilogy that will feature him, but he is not. As far as I know, he is not slated to return. It is actually a new, younger man that's playing Morpheus. Which, like I said, if they are waiting, if this is the next the next cycle of the Matrix. Like the new one is coming. It would make sense that Morpheus would look different. Morpheus is a major player in that whole drama, but he can't always be the exact same person. There are going to be changes to who he is. And, interestingly enough, you know, of course, we have to look at the fact that the last cycle kind of went off the rails. Exactly. It's like, you know, they can make an excuse for Trinity and Neo because they were the two. They want to hold on to those two people. The machines want to hold on to Trinity and Neo if at all possible, because these are the two people that were responsible for not following the way the cycle was supposed to go and breaking from that original cycle. So all of a sudden, nobody knows what the hell's going on. The machines have no idea what's going on. What is going to be kicked up with the next cycle? Because remember, we found out in the second Matrix movie that Neo was supposed to go through to the source, merge with the source, and that was, you know, a certain amount of people in Zion survive, but everything basically gets wiped clean and gets reset back to whenever the Matrix timeline started. I don't know. Let's take a look. Let's see here. When was the last time Lawrence Fishburne? Nope, he is still very active. He was actually in an upcoming TV show, MacGruber. He is set to be in John Wick 4 in 2022. Wait, what? I'm sorry. Wait a second. What is Marvel's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur? What is Marvel's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur? Okay, so this is just like this. I'm going to assume this is not part of. I'm going to assume that is not part of the MCU. Not an official part of the MCU. Because if it was an official part of the MCU, oh, there's some major spoilers there, because Lawrence Fishburne is supposed to play the Beyonder. And the Beyonder was a big player in, what was it? It was the Secret War. Secret War 1, if I remember right, was the Beyonder. It's like the Beyonder gathered all of these heroes and all of these villains, and it's like, all right, now, fight for my amusement and to see who wins. Ha 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 ha. And it was like everybody was like creating new factions and stuff like that, except for Galactus, who was like, so this Beyonder guy, does he have the same energy as a living, as a planet full of life? I mean, obviously the guy's big, and he seems to have a lot of life to him, so, I wonder how he tastes. And basically, while everybody was fighting, Galactus is just like staring at the Beyonder like, what's up, Big Daddy? I usually go for planets with life teeming on them, but I'll make an exception. So yeah, the Lawrence Fishburne is very much still active. He may not have wanted to go through and do all of the acrobats and all of the all of the stunts and stuff for a new Matrix movie, though. All right, see, now I have to know. Yes. Upcoming MCU projects. Okay, so films. No, it wasn't a film. It was. Okay, I don't see anything. And I don't see anything with that. Okay, that's good. That is probably good. A lot of the really big name American actors aren't American. They're just not. Like what? The first two captains of the Enterprise weren't American. I don't actually. You know what? Let me check something. See, he was okay. Okay, so Sylvester Stallone was born in the U.S. Of course, most of his counterparts, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dolph Lundgren, yeah, they're both from Europe. See, I have a friend here in Illinois that is a huge Keanu Reeves fan. Like, huge Keanu Reeves fan. Up to the point where people actually pointed out when he was younger that he did resemble Keanu Reeves a lot. Still kind of does, which is a little eerie. I don't think Keanu Reeves has put on as much weight, but I mean, you know, that's what eventually, sooner or later, everybody's going to put on more weight because, well, your metabolism just doesn't work as well. But, huge Keanu Reeves fan. And, you know, he posted one of those, most few people got familiar with Keanu Reeves because of The Matrix. Maybe John Wick, mostly John Wick, maybe The Matrix. I remember Keanu Reeves from when he was in Bill and Ted. And I had to shut him up because I'm like, look, I remember Keanu Reeves from Babes in Toyland. That was his first fucking movie. My mother loved that movie. It was with Pat Morita, Keanu Reeves, and I remember little bits and pieces of the movie, but that's about it. But it was one of those things where it's like I said, it was, I know that was his first, that was his first movie was Babes in Toyland. Oh God, when was that? Yeah, because it was TV series. Oh, I guess Youngblood. Babes in Toyland was the first one that was like kind of a major thing. Oh God, that was him and Drew Barrymore. Pat Morita was the toy master, yeah. Really? Yeah, Pat Morita. Pat Morita did a movie with Jay Leno? Oh. That sounds really weird, you know? I can lie, that sounds really weird. my god. Movie called Collision Course? Yeah. I just looked it up. 1986 action comedy starring Jay Leno as a Detroit police officer and Pat Morita as a Japanese officer forced to work together to recover a Japanese turbocharger stolen by a thief played by Chris Sarandon. It was directed by Louis Tiga and unreleased in the US until 1992 when it debuted on home video. Okay, so it was kind of the original Rush Hour. It was the original Rush Hour. I mean, that's what it was. If you replace Pat Morita with Jackie Chan, you replace Jay Leno with another comedian, Chris Tucker, you've got fucking Rush Hour. That's weird. I mean, even at that point, Pat Morita wasn't exactly a young man. He wasn't going to be like flipping around and doing all kinds of intricate things. Yeah, so I mean that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. So yeah, I'm trying to decide what movie it is I want to see in theaters this month. Because I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of torn between between Matrix Resurrected and Spider-Man. I'm actually leaning more towards Matrix than Spider-Man. Just because it's like, I mean, I'm kind of just blawed out with all the talks and shit about Spider-Man, honestly. Yeah, like I said, yeah, it's I'm leaning towards Matrix, mostly because I am really just burned out on all the Spider-Man shit. It's like, now granted, if Warner Brothers isn't careful, I'm gonna get fucking burned out on all the Matrix shit too, because they have been pushing that. I could see that. I could kind of see the games being better than the movies, because it's like, I mean, the games, the games, number one, you're automatically more invested. Number two, you're not looking at like, oh, hey, this famous person thing. I mean, I honestly think I would enjoy the Marvel shows more than the Marvel movies. Now, of course, the Marvel shows are going to be better, period, because they have more time to develop the story and the characters. It's like, you figure even if each episode is only half an hour, if you have 6 episodes, that's 3 hours worth of storytelling. You don't get that in most Marvel movies, except for like Endgame, which, oh my god, I thought my bladder was going to fucking burst They really needed to be like to just put up like a sign saying, "Oh hey, boring science talk, go piss, morons." Something just to let us know that, hey, no, you can step out, you can go to the bathroom, and it's not gonna matter. Again, like Guardians of the Galaxy game, a lot of the modern Marvel games, again, it's kind of that idea of, hey, how much playtime is there? If you make no mistakes and skip no cutscenes, how much playtime is there? If there's if you've got 12 hours of playtime, and 12 hours of playtime is very low these days, even for, if you're talking a AAA game, it's playtime's going to probably be up over 12 hours. But even if it's a playtime of 12 hours, you've got what how long was in game? So Avengers Endgame was 3 hours and 1 minute. So lowballing your estimate for playtime, 30 hours. That's the same amount of storytelling time as 10 back-to-back viewings of Avengers Endgame. And it really is all about how much story can you get out? How much time do you have to tell your story? You can tell a better story if you have a longer period of time in which to tell that story. So imagine if Avengers Endgame, let's say, okay, let's look at the Marvel TV show. So let's say Loki. Let's say Loki. How long were the episodes? So the episodes were about 42 minutes. About 42 minutes. Does Disney Plus have commercials, or are they just are they planning on having commercials? Why the 42-minute shit? But let's say, okay, so 42 minutes times, what, 6 episodes? Was it 6 episodes? Yeah, 6 episodes. So 6 episodes divided by 60 minutes. So that's 4.2 hours. Just a just their standard TV series comes up to 4.2 hours. That's an extra hour and what? An hour and 12 minutes. So let's, an hour and 10 minutes. It's an extra hour and 10 minutes to tell your story. Imagine how Avengers Endgame would have been if they had an extra hour and 10 minutes total runtime to tell that story. Yeah, that's see. Now, see, you can obviously think of it outside of the context that most people focus on Gamers Grotto, because most people really focus on. Well, it's like when the first trailer came out for the Avengers game, and everybody's like, what the fuck are these assholes? That's not the Captain America I know. Who's this asshole in the armor? What the hell's going on? That's not Scarlett Johansson. It's like, well, no shit. You would not want to pay for a game that licensed all of the faces and voices of the MCU Avengers. But yeah, people think that's what they want, but it's like, no, you do not. Yeah, it's like, it's no, this isn't Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, but it is still Star-Lord. Exactly, it's like you're supposed to be picturing yourself as the character anyway, so, if you don't look like Chris Pratt, shut the fuck up about that not being the real Star-Lord. Personally, I will always and forever be upset with how James Gunn handled Yondu. Yondu was one of my favorite characters from the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. And they just kind of turned him into a jerk. I mean, he redeemed himself at the end, but he was still very much a jerk. Oh, really? I'm kind of impressed by that. I didn't figure they would. I figured they'd be like, you know what? No. You plebes, you peasants, you beggars don't get to, do not get the movie accurate skins. No. What have you done to deserve that? That's how, I generally view most, like, big game companies like the mustache twirling villains. They absolutely, it's like, I'm just picking them. What do you mean you want this? Okay. So they do give Rocket his proper, like, double-breasted military type coat. I hope so. Really? 60 costumes, holy shit. Now, none of these are like, oh, hey, pay us X amount, right? It's not like, it's you earn it through doing shit in the game, not, oh, hey, pony up the cash and we'll give you these costumes. I hope so, anyway. I hope so, because, I mean, as is, oh, good. All free, good. That is one of the things that I hated. I hated about Star Wars, Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order. I hated the fact that, oh, you can get a new poncho. We can get a new paint job for your little droid. None of the shit that you are finding does a goddamn thing. The poncho doesn't make it less likely. You know, if you're wearing a rainforest poncho, like an indoor poncho on Kashyyyk, you don't have a more of likelihood of blending in and stuff like that. It always bothered me. It always really, really bothered me with that game, because it was like there was no point to it. It's like, why? Other than people being like, "Oh, I'm a completionist." Ha 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 ha. I got all the extra stuff. It's like, okay, good. What did it do for you? Okay, see, that I can appreciate. If there's a reason for it, if there is a difference, if there is, like, yes, yeah, sure, absolutely, go and get this costume, especially if you're going to be dealing with somebody with, like, electrical powers. So it's got, like, a lot of natural grounding and stuff like that. Or it's made of non-conductive material, so you're protected. It's like, cool. There's a reason. There's actually a logistical reason to get this. Whereas, like I said, with Jedi Fallen Order, it's like, oh, you get a new poncho. It really doesn't do anything. All right, that is actually really, 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 really worth it. That is worth that is really worth going through and just fucking getting that. Absolutely. That is precious. That is the type of thing that it's like, yes, there's a reason for it. There's something for it. Like, so many people, so many achievements these days are there specifically to be achievements. They don't do anything. They don't. Half the time, all you get is this little bloop bloop. You've got a new achievement, or achievement unlocked. And it's like, okay. Do I get, like, do I get an extra couple lines of dialogue? Do I get a joke? Do I get something? Does anybody reference this? No, it's just this little, you've got an achievement. And that's it. And it sucks. It's like, LucasArts did a lot of achievement type stuff. They did a lot of, like, Easter eggs and achievements and stuff like that, or things that would later become achievements. But at least you had, like, there was a joke in it. There was something for the person other than just this, you got this, here's a certificate. Congratulations, you unlocked all the toilets in the game. See, yeah, that's the type of thing. That's the type of little things that I appreciate. Like Star Trek Online, when Leonard Nimoy passed away, they put a statue dedicated to him on the planet Vulcan. And we're like, yes, this is dedicated to Spock, and it's like, okay, cool. That's because they actually had, and I appreciate the fact that even though the game has changed so much, they never got rid of his introductions to and his dialogue for new sectors and stuff like that. After the fact, they got new people to come in and do the new sectors that they added. They never recorded any voice lines with Leonard Nimoy because they had no idea what direction they were going to go. Free Sam Raimi's Spider-Man costume. See? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the type of thing that a lot of game makers need to do that. They need to listen to their customers. Well, I've said it before, World of Warcraft was a fucking disaster. When people were like, hey, you've changed all this stuff. I want to go back to the classic WoW. I want classic World of Warcraft. Like, no, you don't. It's like, no, I really do. I want to go back to the... No, you don't. You say you don't, but the moment you get it, you're going to fucking bounce out and just... No, you don't. Trust us, we know what we're talking about. You don't want that. You think you want that, but you don't want that. Finally, they caved in and like, fine, we'll give it to you. It'll last a week, and it's still fucking going. Even through all their shitstorm of Blizzard and Activision just being horrible to women. It's like, oh, I guess you people really did want that. Or EA when they got the exclusive Star Wars license. LucasArts had closed. They had the exclusive rights to make games for Star Wars now. And everybody was like, hey, you know what? Yeah, Battlefront is great. We love Battlefront. Kinda fucking sucks dick that, you have all these, it's kind of pay to get a loot box because you have to spend 100 hours in the game in order to earn a loot box, but whatever, If it's just cosmetics, it's just cosmetics, that's fine. But we really want a single player game. And again, EA's like, no, you don't. No. Oh, you don't. You don't want a single-player game. You think you want a single-player game, but you don't want a single-player game. Multiplayer games are the way of the future. And it's like, no. And then they made then they made Jedi Fallen Order. And it sold like fucking gangbusters. Like, oh, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do a trilogy for this. Just single player games. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that now. First time mad. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's not an unheard of experience. I mean, like, a lot of game designers, a lot of game programmers put proposals into the games that they were themselves working on to their fiancé or to their potential fiancés. And it's just kind of like, yeah, that's a very common practice in games. Like, kind of surprisingly common, honestly. But yeah, the number of times that people are like, the game companies, AAA, I should say, the number of times that the number of times that AAA game companies have kind of pushed back on people and been like, no, you guys have okay, you've purchased every single game we have. That's great. You play hours and hours and hours on end. That's wonderful. But no, you guys don't know what you want. I know what you want, but you don't know what you want. So just listen to us, okay? We know what you want. Oh, really? Oh, now that sounds pretty interesting. That is actually for yeah, I'm really interested to see who they get for a lot of the future like MCU and future characters that they're planning on. Trailer for it. Wait, they have a trailer for is it Spider-Man 2? Is it Spider-Man 2? Hang on here. Yes, video game Spider-Man 2. Okay, he's doing the a minute 34 seconds. That's not long. Hang on a moment. Okay. So yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's get through you. Thank you. Okay. Hang on a moment. We will look. Let me make sure that this isn't like overly loud. And you know what? Let's do a reaction to it. Why the fuck not? Because you know what, YouTube? Suck it. We doing a reaction to this shit. So, boom and boom. And let's look at it. So, PlayStation Studios, of course, yes. Insomniac Games. Yes, very nice. And the Marvel. Oh, wait, sorry. Footage captured on a PS5. Again, especially for video games, this looks fucking beautiful.
For as long as I can remember, I have looked for an equal.
An equal?
One who could push me. One who could surprise me.
Oh, so they've... Wait, did they give Peter Parker?
One who could even beat me.
They gave Peter Parker the Iron Spider?
Yet all I found is disappointment.
Why does...
Will one
Huh?
finally give me what I desire?
A little cup and tickle? Ooh. So it sounds like what they're 2023. Wow, that's over. Woo, okay. All right. So yeah, it sounds now that sounds to me like they are like there is a secondary, like there is somebody else, like there is somebody on the outside looking in, like somebody is wanting a challenge. And Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man and Miles Morales Spider-Man, they're not bad. They're not bad guys. But they're not really providing that challenge that this person is wanting. Totally understandable. Totally understandable. Because they're not going to go balls to the walls and, hey, we're fighting to the death here. Whereas Venom would absolutely go to the death and just be like, no, we are just, yes. So I'm kind of wondering with the accent of that game, that kind of European accent. I'm kind of wondering who the major bad guy is gonna be. Right. I get that. I think but Venom is obviously somebody different. Venom is a third side to the whole. Okay, that's who I was thinking. That's who I was thinking of, was Kraven the Hunter, because it's like, who else is going to want a challenge and want like just a brutal knockdown, beat the fuck out of each other, potentially slaughter one another type of fight? Who is gonna want something like that that Peter Parker and Miles Morales aren't going to be able to match? But Venom totally fucking will. Venom will give him exactly what he wants. Venom will provide. And yeah, I mean, Kraven the Hunter kind of is like the one person that's like, oh yeah. He got this. Even though I don't think they list, they don't list any other cast other than Tony Todd as Venom, Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker, and Najee Jester as Miles Morales. So yeah, I mean that yeah, Kraven the Hunter makes sense. Kind of like, honestly, let's face it, we all are pretty much sure, as much as Marvel is good at trying to keep a lid on things, we are all pretty much sure who Uncle is in Hawkeye. Uncle is, Uncle's Fisk. Uncle's gotta be Wilson Fisk, right? He's kind of gotta be Wilson Fisk. Right, Doc Ock, Mr. Negative, Vulture, Rhino, Electro, Scorpion, Shocker, Tombstone, Black Cat, and Hammerhead. Wow, they really pack them in, don't they? Like, you do not get you really don't get much of a break. Oh, and Silver Sable. Gotta have a right. Okay. So they're kind of doing a Spinal Tap thing. It's like 10? No. We're cranking it up to 11 because 11 is higher than 10. Never mind that 10 is actually kind of an arbitrary and meaningless number. We're gonna go up to 11. Our 11 could match their 10. Well, actually, yeah, they probably could. But yeah, it's just like, I don't doubt it. Wait, what is this? Oh, right. The oh god damn. Ooh. I forgot the Knights of the Old Republic remake. I forgot about that. Oh, that one is just, oh. That is a game that I would love to see remade. I really want to see it remade. I really do want to see this one remade. I'm pretty sure we've looked at this one before, but we'll look at it again. So yeah. Sony Interactive. Lucasfilm Games. That's an interesting name.
Peace is a lie.
Not actual gameplay.
That is what the Sith believe.
Well, yeah.
They promise power. Now they wield it.
Up to a certain point.
Greatest Sith in generations.
I'm sorry.
Be stopped.
I'm sorry. We have to go back here.
In generations. We
Okay, so Darth. I have a bit of a problem. I have a bit of a problem with Lord Revan's lightsaber here. Because it makes less sense. This makes less sense than Kylo Ren's lightsaber. Because Kylo Ren at least was like, okay, yeah, you have one up and two out. It could be a split. It could be intentional, right? Like you have special mirrors that, like, you know, split it off into 3 spots. Why the fuck does Darth Revan's lightsaber have a knot? Like it's straight, bulge, and then back down. Why does his lightsaber have a knot? That is not appropriate for a lightsaber. Look, Darth Revan was a badass. He's not going to have a lightsaber like a dog's dong. Okay? He's not. The mask is fucking cool. Although the visor just, yeah, it's angled off this way, but it's like reflecting like nearly straight up. I don't know. Nitpicking. I know. I'm nitpicking. But I would love to see Knights of the Old Republic with a modern gameplay mechanic. And not just for the fucking not just for the fucking PS5. Come on. PlayStation. Fuck off. You're not programming this shit on a PlayStation. You're programming it on a goddamn PC. Make it playable for a PC. Just make it playable for a PC. Please. That's all I want. Because I really don't want to port that motherfucker over. But, like, seriously, why? Why was the lightsaber like... Whoop? There's a good reason for that. There is a good reason for that, Gamersgrotto, because with most movies and TV shows, you have a set path. You have this, there is a very linear story. You don't get to choose anything. that's one of the reasons why I've always loved the Sherlock Holmes novels, the Sherlock Holmes stories. Because they are challenging, because Sir Arthur Conan Doyle always made sure to present you with enough hints that you could figure out the mystery before Sherlock Holmes told it to Watson and Watson wrote it down. You could figure it out on your own if you paid attention to everything. That's one of the problems that I have with a lot of the modernized Sherlock Holmes. Like, the BBC's Sherlock, oh my fucking god, that is garbage. The first fucking episode was just goddamn garbage. Like, when Sherlock Holmes is like, okay, I figured out who you are the criminal, you are the person who needs to be arrested, I am taking you down. And the bad guy that it's like, oh no, it's a crapshoot. There is no logistical way you can decide which half of the pill is safe or not. But that appeals to you because you can't control it. It's like, no. The actual character of Sherlock Holmes would turn that down in a heartbeat and be like, no. If it's all random, if logic cannot dictate the outcome of this game, then this game has no purpose. Because Sherlock Holmes, the character of Sherlock Holmes, was 100% about logic and being able to deduct things. Now, what was it? Elementary. The American-made one, Elementary, was a little bit better because Sherlock Holmes was still very based in logic. If things didn't have a logical deduction, if logic could not win out, then something was fucking broken. Absolutely. But they refused to allow Sherlock Holmes to, mature into the general parlance of the time. Like, Watson was showing him this phone in place of his watch, and it's like, oh, so that's your sister's watch, she's a drunk, she's this, she's that, she just broke up with her husband. And Joan Watson's like, well, actually, she broke up with her wife. And it's like, yeah, and by 2000, same-sex marriages were not unheard of by the time that show came out. And therefore, Sherlock Holmes, that version of Sherlock Holmes would have been like, oh, no. Absolutely. There's nothing saying that a woman has to marry a man. Huh. I might have to pick that up. Okay, so it's an open world, has Holmes as a teen, first starting as a consulting tech. That's interesting. Kind of sounds like it has the same vibes as a young Sherlock Holmes movie. Okay, so Watson is his conscience, not an actual tangible person. Now that is a really, really interesting idea. That is a fascinating idea because it's like, just somebody if somebody's talking with and stuff, when he's talking with Watson, just talking to myself, working it out. And everybody be like, oh, okay, creative bastard, brilliant, tends to mutter on to himself, not a big deal. that is. I'm gonna have to check that out. I will have to check that out. Now, which okay. So which one is this? Probably, yeah. So is this the Sherlock Holmes chapter 1? Okay, yeah. Got to it just before you did. So, all right. Okay, from Epic Games. Right, makes sense. I will absolutely have to check that out. Okay, so it's not actually John Watson. It's before John Watson. There was a different John, Sherlock's best and only friend. As your confidant and sounding board, John thrusts his thirst for this kind of adventure that Sherlock so often finds. Right, and I'm guessing that's the figment of your imagination, your conscience. Oh god, and some of these renders are just fucking, these are beautiful, beautiful renders, like really beautiful renders. Okay, so you can actually find it on Steam, Epic Games, or yeah, you can find it everywhere. Oh. Ooh. That's a hefty price tag. That is a hefty price tag. Ooh. But if it's one of those things where this is the, you know, I'm gonna have to take a look at it, and I'm gonna have to take a look at it. I'm gonna have to take a closer look at it and see. So, okay, the main story looks like it's about 12 or 13 hours. But at the same time, if that $45 price tag, is like them, like, yeah, it's $45 now, but you're also going to get, you also, you know, you're also covered for all of these upgrades in each chapter as they come out. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the big question. It's like, well, how much? Yeah, if it's just, okay, chapter 1, this is chapter 1, period, end of discussion, and yeah, you're gonna be, you know, you are going to be, you know, then you have to pay another $45 for chapter 2. That's a little steep, honestly. What version did you get? Holy fucking okay. See, okay, yeah, the base edition is 45. The deluxe edition is 60. The chapter 1 plus Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments and Sherlock Holmes The Devil's Daughter comes up to almost 90. And then, in case $90 isn't just like, oh my god, just take my entire fucking wallet. You had the Frogsware Ultimate Collection Bundle. Dracula Origin. Dracula Love Kills, which I'm pretty sure that's the one I played. Mag Runner Dark Pulse. Journey to the Center of the Earth. Sherlock Holmes franchise soundtrack. Frogware Games soundtrack. Sherlock Holmes franchise modern soundtrack. Oh my god, what the fuck? Nemesis. Dear gods. I mean, there's a lot of shit here. There's Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1, Devil's Daughter, The Silver Earring. Not the greatest. Sherlock Holmes and the Hound of the Baskervilles, which we played for the channel. Yeah, Crime and Punishments, Testament of Sherlock Holmes, Sherlock Holmes The Awakened. Yeah, a shit ton of games for, you know, I mean, what, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games. 13 games and 3 soundtracks for $203. Holy fuck. Okay. As long as it wasn't promised to be like this awesome, you know, canvas bag that turned out to be like this vinyl, like, cheap-ass piece of shit. As long as they didn't do you dirty like fucking Bethesda and their Fallout 76, like, fucking circle jerk. Yeah, that honestly, that really, I mean, I will be 100% honest. For me, Fallout 4 was a big disappointment for me. Fallout 4 was a huge disappointment for me. Because basically Bethesda said, oh, hey, you know what? We own this outright, guys. We can do whatever the fuck we want. So you know what? We're gonna take their entire process of building a character and leveling a character, and we're just gonna rub Skyrim's nutsack all over it. Like, they might as well have been like, oh no, Fallout 4, forget Fallout 4. This is Fallout Skyrim, okay? That's what it is. They abandoned the character sheet that made Fallout what Fallout was, which was an adaptation and a break away from the standard, the standard strength, charisma, endurance, wisdom, intelligence, yada 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 yada, that just about every role-playing game was using. And they said, no, we're gonna do specials. Then we're gonna have skills. then we're gonna have skills, then we're gonna have traits. And as you as you upgrade, as you progress in levels, every so many levels, you get to add something that's special. Every level, you get to add something to your skills. And every 4 or 5 levels, you get to add a new trait. It was it was a wonderful, wonderful system that they completely just said, yeah, they completely just shit all over Fallout 4. And that pissed me off. What pissed me off more than anything, what pissed me off more than anything with that was the number of people that were like, oh no, Fallout 4 is the best of the best. It's like, okay. When did you start playing Fallout? Oh, I started on Fallout 3. It's like, okay, did you play Fallout New Vegas? Oh, yeah, it was great. It's like, and now you're on Fallout 4. And it's perfect. It's like, no. Nope. Mm-hmm. Nope. I'm sorry, but no. Just, no. Just walk your happy ass out the door, crawl up Bethesda's ass, and be done with it. Because Bethesda had nothing to fucking do with the original goddamn Fallout. They bought that IP. They got some of the people in to help out. A few, not many, but they got a few people to help out with Fallout 3. Fallout New Vegas was actually done by the people that were by a lot of the people that were working for Interplay when Fallout 1 and 2 were done. And then, Fallout 4 is like, I swear Bethesda looked at it and said, looked at New Vegas and was like, oh. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do to make a good Fallout game. You're never making another Fallout game. Nope, we are not licensing out this game to anybody ever again because fuck you. And yeah, that is the essence of Fallout 4, and pretty much everything beyond Fallout 4 is just like, oh no, you guys made something better than us. Yes, you guys are the original makers. Ugh. That's what was it? Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds is an interesting game. Outer Worlds is made by the same people who originally made Fallout. Like Fallout 1 and 2, not Fallout 4. And they kind of recapture some of their style and their character sheets and stuff like that, and it's like, you should be able to upgrade your attributes every 3 or 4 levels. You should be able to upgrade your skills, which is a percentage every level. And you should be able to add a new trait every 4 to 5 levels. That is a good system. It worked. It fucking worked. Like, if you want melee weapon, yeah, I mean, yeah, sequels can be good. But you kind of have to keep with, you have to kind of keep with the same idea. You can't say, okay, you know what, we did a Spider-Man game. We did a great Spider-Man game. logical step would be to go from Spider-Man to Miles Morales, right? Go to Miles Morales. Sure, go to a new Spider-Man with new power sets and stuff like that, right? Bethesda's model would be like, we made Spider-Man, we got the license, we are the ones who can make a Spider-Man game. We're gonna make a game completely about Electro. Nothing to do with Spider-Man. Just all about Electro. Fuck Peter Parker, fuck Miles Morales, we're doing Electro. That's Bethesda's model. It's like, no. We have this great, wonderful property. We have this great intellectual property that works. People want to play Spider-Man. People want Miles Morales. Let's give them Electro. Let's force them to play as Electro and nobody but Electro. It's kind of like, you have this thing that works, and now you're going over here. The fuck are you thinking? It's just, yeah, Bethesda confuses the fuck out of me. Bethesda really does. It's like they have so much that is great and wonderful and it would be fantastic, but they kind of it's kind of like saying, okay, here's the toilet, pee in the toilet, and they start going off like a fucking sprinkler, just like... Yeah. Bethesda games are just fucking, yeah, fucking blow my mind. Kind of like, it's kind of like EA games. Oh, hey, everything has to be multiplayer. You guys don't want. Again, it's one of those things where it's like these AAA game developers don't have much of a clue as to what we want. But they can release a game, and because their name is on the game, it sells. Everybody wants to see what the next big game from Bethesda is. Excuse me. But yeah, everybody wants to know what the big next game from EA or Bethesda is. And then you have like then you have a smaller game developer, and it's like, well, who's this asshole who thinks he's ready to play? And it's like, yeah, these are the people that made the games that you actually loved. See, that's the thing, though. Gamers Grotto. They had to be forced into making a single-player game. They had to be forced into Jedi Fallen Order. They for years, they told gamers, you don't want a single-player Star Wars game. You don't want that. That won't sell. Nobody wants that. And then finally, everybody, they finally got enough pressure and enough signatures on enough petitions. They're like, fine, we'll make it. And it's sold like hotcakes. And yeah, that's the thing. These big name AAA game developers are used to being, they see people buy their games not because their games are necessarily good, but because their name is on the game. It's a new Elder Scrolls game. It's gonna sell. They could make Elder Scrolls 6 the long trek through a dragon's digestive tract the wrong way, and it would still sell because it's Bethesda and Elder Scrolls. Those two things, those two names on the cover will sell the game. It could be dog shit, and it'll sell. Yeah, and that's why a lot of people were like, "Hey, look, just focus on this. Focus on the single player. Focus on the single player adventure. Focus on that." And they're like, "You don't want that." And it's like, "No, we really do. No. We really do. Please do." And yeah, but and I have no doubt. That EA, much like Blizzard, much like Bethesda at this point, I think, with a lot of things, it's like they kind of have to they have to cave in and be like, "Okay, look, fine, we're gonna prove you wrong," and then realize that, oh shit, they were right. It's like, maybe, just maybe, if you listen to the people who buy your goddamn games, who play your goddamn games, you're gonna sell more games. Listen to the people who actually play your games, not the people who, just suck up and buy a game because your name is on it, but the people that actually play it. Yeah, I don't mind online games. Right up until they force you to party and go into, like, I love Lord of the Rings Online. I do. I love Lord of the Rings Online. And I'm thinking that maybe we should try and find a day, one day a week where we can just do Lord of the Rings Online. But I don't party with people. I used to play World of Warcraft before Blizzard was like, "Oh, we'll change this person's name in the game. We're better." It's like, no. You don't get out cheap like that. But it's one of but before that, it's like, I used to play World of Warcraft. I don't party with people. I don't party with people. I like the idea of an adventure, but adventuring at my own pace, my own way, my own style, and creating my own character and my own story. Oh, yeah. Fucking tell me about it. Oh, no. Like, with World of Warcraft, I used to play Warrior. One of the Warrior's early biggest traits was rush, because it built up, it was charged, it built up rage. And there were two in the first dungeon, the one and only time I ever did that dungeon, I was one of two warriors, and I had a rifle. I would train myself to use a rifle because I wanted to be able to pull individual people. The guy's like, "But you're not using your charge. Your charge builds up rage." It's like, no, I'm pulling them in one by one. This is called tactics. It wins wars. This is better than just rushing headlong into a fucking battle. And sure enough, he's like, "No, you don't know what the fuck you're doing." And he charged into a room filled with people, targeting the person in the center of the goddamn room. He charged into at the person in the center of the goddamn room, pulled every motherfucker, died in about 5 seconds, and then they came after the rest of the party because he had alerted them to our presence. Like, we all reset. And I told him, and I'm like, yep, that is why you don't fucking rush every goddamn person. The person who created the group and was like, okay, who wants to do this? He's like, all right, you know what? He looked back at things. He's like, you know what? That dude, it's fucking out. We don't need two warriors. We've got somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that, but yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, that is the reason why I don't like the team ups, the forced team ups. If you want to progress, you have to team up with somebody. It's like, no. I know what I'm doing. I know how to play the goddamn game. Let me play the goddamn game. Now, if I, talking with people, chatting with people, role-playing with people, absolutely, great, wonderful. Actually going on adventures and going through missions and going through quests with them. Oh, thank you. I have thought, if I do Lord of the Rings Online, I am going to do a character from the Discworld called Munstrum Redcliffe. Basically, a very powerful wizard who just kind of doesn't give a fuck. He's just kind of like, yep, I'm powerful, and you're not, so, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? How about, ooh, hey, look, there's a chicken. How do you feel about chicken? And then just, like, toss a fireball at it, just poof, gone. I kind of want to play a wizard because they've changed the wizards in that game, in Lord of the Rings Online. I mean, they've changed a lot of things, and they're supposed to actually be like rebuilding that from the ground up, which I love. Right? Yeah. I mean, you don't have to pay to play. You don't have to play to win? What? How are you going to make money? See, a lot of the other game companies would be like, how do you expect to make money if you don't have loot boxes or pay to win mechanics? Or you have to. You mean you're actually going to just charge people the cost of the game and that's it? Are you insane? See, that's one of those things where depending on what the DLC is, I don't. Yeah, I mean that is actually really groundbreaking. That is really unusual. Anyway, I do believe it is about time for bed. It is after midnight now, and I am starting to get sleepy. I need to get a snack and then go to bed. But yeah, this was, I actually really kind of like this. I may try and bring in one or two other people for this type of thing so that we can kind of have more of a typical live stream where there's like a couple of, 2 or 3 people talking and looking at the chat and stuff like that. I know I've got one or two friends are really have expressed interest in that. Let's say that they have expressed interest in something like this. And yeah, it would be honestly, I think it would be a lot of fun to do that. But for now, I'm going to go to bed. As always, thank you guys very much for being here. Gamers Grotto, Curious, all the little lurkers, the people who popped in and then popped out, the people who are going to watch after the fact, because they always do. If you liked the video, don't forget to press the like button. If you're new here, don't forget to press the subscribe button and ring the bell, just in case YouTube actually wants to notify you. If you want to make sure to be notified, probably check the social media links down below, the Facebook page, the Twitter account. That is where I normally post when I go live. Kind of fucked that up today, but the day was it was just a different thing. All of this so that you can stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions. Cheerio!